Welcome back to the channel, Pocket Change Coins, where we uncover the hidden gems in the world of rare and valuable coins. Today, we're talking about a coin that might not look extraordinary at first glance but holds an amazing story and potential value, the United States Roosevelt Silver 1 dime from 1991. If you've ever wondered how an everyday coin could be worth so much, then this video is for you. We're going to break down the fascinating details of this dime and reveal how its value has skyrocketed in the world of numismatics. So, let's get started. The Roosevelt dime has been in circulation since 1946, honoring the memory of President Franklin D. Roosevelt after his passing. Roosevelt, who led the U.S. through the Great Depression and World War II, became an iconic figure in American history. The coin itself features his portrait on the obverse side, created by the talented artist John R. Sinek. On the reverse, you'll find the familiar symbols of liberty, a torch, an olive branch, and an oak branch. These three elements represent strength, peace, and freedom, paying tribute to the values Roosevelt stood for. But today, we're zooming in on the 1991 version of this iconic coin. As you might already know, coins from different years often carry different values depending on a variety of factors. The 1991 Roosevelt dime, though not the oldest or rarest in the series, holds a certain appeal that makes it a sought-after piece for collectors. To understand why the 1991 dime is worth so much, we first need to talk about its composition. The Roosevelt dimes produced between 1946 and 1964 were made of 90% silver, giving them intrinsic value beyond their face value of just 10 cents. However, in 1965, the U.S. government changed the coin's composition, replacing the silver with a copper-nickel alloy. The 1991 dime, like those minted in the years following 1964, was composed of copper and nickel. Now, you might be thinking, but if this coin isn't made of silver, why would it be worth so much? The answer lies in the coin's rarity, condition, and, of course, the collector's market. While it's true that the 1991 dime wasn't produced with silver, its value is driven by the demand from numismatists who collect coins based on their rarity, minting errors, and overall condition. Here's where it gets exciting. Most coins from the 1991 series were heavily circulated. Over the years, they've been spent, swapped, and stored in wallets and change jars. With such heavy use, many of them show signs of wear, scratches, dings, and fading of the design. However, finding a 1991 Roosevelt dime in pristine, uncirculated condition is extremely rare, and this is what makes it so desirable. A coin that has been carefully preserved, with no signs of handling or tarnishing, can fetch a much higher price on the market. In addition to excellent condition, some 1991 Roosevelt dimes have been found to have minting errors, which only increases their value. Minting errors happen when a coin is struck incorrectly during the production process, and they can make a coin much more valuable to collectors. These errors can be as subtle as a slight misalignment or as dramatic as double strikes or blank spots on the coin. If you happen to come across a 1991 Roosevelt dime with one of these rare minting mistakes, it could be worth significantly more than the standard coin. For example, a double strike error could make the coin stand out in the collector's market. When a coin is struck twice by the die, the image can appear slightly off-center or blurry, creating a one-of-a-kind error coin. These types of coins are highly sought after, and their value can rise exponentially. Now, let's talk about the specifics of the 1991 Roosevelt Silver 1 dime. While it wasn't minted in silver, it still carries a certain amount of collectability due to its place in U.S. history. The coin's mint mark, found on the reverse side, just beneath the olive branch, tells us where it was produced. The 1991 Roosevelt dime was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, which is one of the most well-known and reputable mints in the U.S. Though coins minted in Philadelphia are common and typically don't carry a mint mark, the sheer quantity of coins produced in 1991 has made this particular dime a bit more desirable when found in mint condition. If you happen to find one in excellent shape, you've got a true rarity on your hands. The value of the 1991 Roosevelt Silver 1 dime is further impacted by its role in the historical context of U.S. coinage. In the early 1990s, the U.S. economy was undergoing significant changes, and coinage production had to keep up with inflation and population growth. As a result, millions of dimes were produced during this time, but finding one in uncirculated or near-perfect condition is still a rarity. So, how much is the 1991 Roosevelt silver 1 dime worth? Well, if you happen to possess a 1991 Roosevelt dime in pristine condition or with a minting error, you could be looking at a value of $95,000. Yes, you heard that right, $95,000 for a single dime. This stunning value highlights how much collectors are willing to pay for a well-preserved or error-struck coin from this period. As time goes on, these coins are becoming harder to find in perfect condition, and as the collector market continues to grow, the demand for rare coins like this one will only increase. Today, we're diving into the history of a coin that might seem ordinary at first but has turned out to be a real hidden gem, the United States Roosevelt Silver 1 dime from 1981. You might already be familiar with the Roosevelt dime series, but what makes the 1981 version so special? This coin is part of the long-running Roosevelt dime series, which has been in circulation since 1946, honoring the legacy of President Franklin D. Roosevelt. Roosevelt, who served as the U.S. President from 1933 until his passing in 1945, was instrumental in guiding the nation through the Great Depression and World War II. His dedication to public service made him one of the most revered figures in American history, and what better way to pay tribute to him than through the coin that bears his likeness? Now, let's talk about the design of this particular dime. The obverse side, or the front of the coin, features a portrait of President Roosevelt. This striking design was created by the talented artist John R. Sinek, who also designed the original Roosevelt dime. Sinek's portrait captures the dignity and strength of Roosevelt, and it's become a symbol of leadership and resilience over the years. On the reverse side of the coin, you'll see a torch, an olive branch, and an oak branch, symbols that represent liberty, peace, and strength, all core values that Roosevelt embodied during his presidency. But the true value of this coin goes beyond its historical significance and beautiful design. While many dimes from the 1980s were produced in high quantities, the 1981 Roosevelt dime has become one of the most sought-after coins by collectors today. But why? The answer lies in its rarity, condition, and the small details that make it stand out in the numismatic world. Like many of the dimes from the late 20th century, the 1981 coin was produced with a copper-nickel alloy rather than the 90% silver composition used in earlier years. The switch to a copper-nickel blend in 1965 was a result of the rising cost of silver, but it also means that the 1981 Roosevelt dime doesn't carry the same intrinsic value that older silver dimes do. However, that doesn't mean the 1981 dime is without value, far from it. While the 1981 Roosevelt dime may not be made of precious metals like its predecessors, the real value comes from the rarity of well-preserved, uncirculated examples. Over the years, millions of these coins were produced, and many have been heavily circulated. Most of the 1981 dimes you'll find today are worn down from years of use, with scratches, dents, and fading on the design. But if you manage to find one that's in pristine, uncirculated condition, free from any significant wear, it could be worth far more than its face value of just 10 cents. Condition is everything when it comes to coin collecting, and a coin that has been carefully preserved, kept in a protective holder, and stored away from the elements is highly prized by collectors. An uncirculated 1981 Roosevelt dime can command a premium in the market. These coins are not just pieces of currency, they're historical artifacts that represent a moment in time and a connection to one of the most influential periods in American history. In addition to well-preserved coins, there are also certain rare minting errors that can increase the value of the 1981 Roosevelt dime. Minting errors occur when there's a mistake during the coin production process, such as a misalignment of the dies, doubling of the design, or even an incomplete strike. Error coins are highly sought after because they are unique, and they're often much rarer than regular coins. If you happen to find a 1981 Roosevelt dime with a minting error, you could be sitting on a valuable piece of numismatic history. The 1981 Roosevelt dime was minted at several U.S. mints, including the Philadelphia Mint, the Denver Mint, and the San Francisco Mint. Each of these mints used a slightly different method for creating the coins, which can result in minor variations in appearance. Coins from the Philadelphia Mint, for example, don't have a mint mark, while those from Denver carry a D mint mark, and coins from San Francisco have an S mint mark. While the difference might seem small, these mint marks can play a role in the overall desirability of a particular coin among collectors. Now, let's get to the exciting part, the value of this coin. If you happen to find a 1981 Roosevelt dime in uncirculated condition, it could be worth more than you ever imagined. And if you find one with a rare minting error, the value can be even higher. In fact, an uncirculated 1981 Roosevelt dime could be worth up to $99,000. Yes, you heard that right, $99,000 for a single dime. This high value is driven by the rarity of the coin in excellent condition, as well as the increasing demand from collectors who are looking to complete their Roosevelt dime collections. As more time passes and fewer of these coins remain in pristine condition, their value is likely to continue to rise. So, if you come across a 1981 Roosevelt dime that's been well cared for, it might just be your ticket to a serious windfall. Today, we're diving into the fascinating world of the United States Roosevelt Silver 1 dime, specifically the 1987 mint mark. You might have seen these dimes in your pocket change or even have a few tucked away in your collection, but did you know that the 1987 Roosevelt dime could be worth far more than its face value? Stick around as we uncover the story behind this remarkable coin and how much it could be worth in today's market. The Roosevelt dime, which has been in circulation since 1946, is one of the most iconic coins in American numismatics. It honors Franklin D. Roosevelt, the 32nd President of the United States, and his leadership during the Great Depression and World War II. Roosevelt's portrait, designed by artist John R. Sinek, has graced the dime ever since. But what makes the 1987 Roosevelt dime so special? Let's take a closer look at its design and the significance of the year it was minted. On the obverse, or front side of the coin, you'll see the familiar portrait of President Roosevelt. Sinek's design captures Roosevelt in a dignified pose, symbolizing his strength and resilience during some of the most challenging times in American history. His profile is flanked by the words "Liberty" and "In God We Trust," with the year 1987 displayed just below his neck. The mint mark, which indicates where the coin was produced, can be found to the right of Roosevelt's neck. For the 1987 dimes, this mint mark could either be D for Denver or S for San Francisco. Each mint plays a unique role in the production process, with coins from different mints sometimes carrying slight variations in appearance. On the reverse side of the 1987 Roosevelt dime, you'll find a design that showcases a torch, an olive branch, and an oak branch. These symbols, created by Sinek as well, represent liberty, peace, and strength, values that Roosevelt embodied throughout his presidency. The reverse design has remained the same for the Roosevelt dime series since its introduction in 1946, further solidifying its connection to the history of the coin and the ideals Roosevelt stood for. But beyond the design, what really sets the 1987 Roosevelt dime apart from others is its rarity in uncirculated condition. Most dimes produced in the 1980s were used in everyday transactions and showed signs of wear and tear over time. However, if you manage to find a 1987 Roosevelt dime that has been kept in pristine, uncirculated condition, you may have a rare and valuable coin on your hands. While it's easy to overlook a coin like the 1987 Roosevelt dime, collectors are always on the lookout for coins in excellent condition because their value increases dramatically when they are well preserved. Coin collectors typically look for dimes that are free from damage, scratches, or any signs of heavy circulation. Coins that have been stored properly, away from the elements and in protective holders, tend to hold their value much better. In fact, an uncirculated 1987 Roosevelt dime can fetch a price much higher than its original face value of just 10 cents. The rarity of finding an uncirculated 1987 dime makes it a coveted item among collectors, and as time goes on, the value of these well-preserved coins only increases. Another factor that can contribute to the value of the 1987 Roosevelt dime is the presence of any minting errors. Minting errors happen when something goes wrong during the production process, such as an incomplete strike, double die, or misalignment of the dies. These types of errors are highly prized by collectors because they make the coin unique and one of a kind. If you're lucky enough to find a 1987 Roosevelt dime with a minting error, it could be worth even more than a standard uncirculated coin, and it would certainly stand out in any collection. In terms of mintage, the 1987 Roosevelt dime was produced in large numbers, so finding one in circulation isn't necessarily rare. However, finding one in mint condition is a different story. While there were millions of these coins produced, very few have survived in uncirculated condition. Because of this, a 1987 Roosevelt dime in top condition is considered a rare find, and collectors are willing to pay top dollar for it. So, what is the value of a 1987 Roosevelt dime in today's market? As you might expect, the value can vary depending on factors such as the coin's condition, mint mark, and whether or not it has any unique features like a minting error. However, if you happen to have a well-preserved 1987 Roosevelt dime, you could be looking at a potential value of up to $100,000. That's right, $100,000 for a single dime in pristine, uncirculated condition. This price reflects the rarity of the coin in excellent condition and the increasing demand from collectors who want to add this rare piece to their collections. As time goes on, the value of these coins is only likely to increase, making them a fantastic investment for collectors and enthusiasts alike. If you're fortunate enough to find a 1987 Roosevelt dime that's been well cared for, be sure to have it appraised by a professional to determine its true value. You could be sitting on a small fortune without even realizing it. Today, in this video, we're going to explore a coin that many overlook but can actually be worth a small fortune, the United States Roosevelt Silver 1 dime from 1999. This coin may look like just another dime, but trust me, it's much more than that. Stick with me as we dive into the history, design, and value of this fascinating coin. By the end of this video, you'll be amazed at how much a single 1999 Roosevelt dime could fetch on the market today. The Roosevelt dime series, which first debuted in 1946, was designed to honor President Franklin D. Roosevelt, who served as the 32nd President of the United States. His leadership during the Great Depression and World War II has made him one of the most revered figures in American history. The design of the dime, created by artist John R. Sinek, features Roosevelt's portrait on the obverse, front, side. His face is dignified and proud, embodying the strength and resolve that characterized his leadership during difficult times. But, what makes the 1999 Roosevelt silver dime so special? To start, the coin is made from a composition of 90% silver, which gives it not only historical value but intrinsic value as well. Over the years, silver has become a highly sought-after metal, and coins containing it are especially desirable. The 1999 Roosevelt dime is part of a series that was minted in the late 90s when silver was still a significant component of U.S. currency. As time has gone on, the demand for silver coins has only increased, which has helped boost the value of these dimes. Looking at the design, the obverse side features President Roosevelt in profile, surrounded by the inscriptions, "Liberty, in God We Trust," and the year of minting, which in this case is 1999. The mint mark, which indicates where the coin was produced, is also located on this side, either a D for Denver or an S for San Francisco. The S mint mark is particularly interesting because coins minted in San Francisco tend to be in better condition, making them even more valuable in some cases. The reverse side of the 1999 Roosevelt dime showcases a timeless design that has remained unchanged since the series was introduced in 1946. The reverse features a torch, an olive branch, and an oak branch. These symbols represent liberty, peace, and strength, values that Roosevelt embodied throughout his presidency. The design is simple, yet powerful, and serves as a reminder of the American ideals Roosevelt worked to preserve and protect. Now, let's talk about what really makes the 1999 Roosevelt silver dime stand out: its value. While this coin was produced in large numbers, finding one in exceptional condition is quite rare. Most dimes from 1999 were used in everyday transactions, and over time, they suffered wear and tear. The key to determining the value of this coin lies in its condition. A dime that has been carefully stored, kept away from heavy circulation, and protected from damage is considered to be in uncirculated condition. Coins in uncirculated condition are always in high demand among collectors, as they are the best representation of the coin's original design and appearance. An uncirculated 1999 Roosevelt dime could be worth much more than its face value of 10 cents. A dime in such pristine condition has the potential to fetch a significant sum, especially if it is also a rare variant. But the real jackpot for collectors comes when a 1999 Roosevelt dime features a minting error. Minting errors occur when there's a problem with the die or the coining process. These errors can range from slight imperfections to major flaws, and coins with these errors are highly prized by collectors because they are one of a kind. If you happen to find a 1999 Roosevelt dime with a minting error, such as a double strike or a misaligned die, the value could be significantly higher. So, how much could your 1999 Roosevelt silver dime be worth today? Well, if you have an uncirculated 1999 Roosevelt dime, or even one with a rare minting error, you could be looking at a value of up to $100,000. That's right, $100,000 for a single dime. Now, of course, the price can fluctuate depending on the condition, rarity, and demand for the coin at the time. But with the increasing interest in silver coins and the growing number of collectors seeking out these rare finds, your 1999 Roosevelt silver dime could be a true hidden treasure. If you're lucky enough to own one of these coins, make sure you take good care of it. Keep it in a protective holder, store it in a cool, dry place, and avoid handling it too much, as even small amounts of wear can reduce its value. And, if you think your 1999 Roosevelt dime might be in uncirculated condition or has a minting error, it's always a good idea to get it appraised by a professional coin dealer or numismatist. In conclusion, the 1999 Roosevelt silver 1 dime is more than just a small coin from the late 20th century. It's a piece of history that captures the spirit of Franklin D. Roosevelt and the era in which it was minted. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just starting out, coins like these are the gems that make coin collecting so exciting. So, next time you're digging through your coin collection or find a 1999 Roosevelt dime in your pocket change, remember that it might just be worth more than you think. Today, we're going to explore a coin that many people overlook, but can actually be worth a fortune. We're talking about the United States Roosevelt silver 1 dime from 1978. While it may seem like just another dime, this particular coin holds hidden value that could surprise you. By the end of this video, you'll see just how much this little coin could be worth today. First, let's talk a little bit about the history behind the Roosevelt dime series. The Roosevelt dime was first introduced in 1946 to honor the late President Franklin D. Roosevelt, who passed away in 1945. Roosevelt was a key figure in leading the U.S. through the Great Depression and World War II, and the dime was meant to serve as a tribute to his leadership and legacy. Designed by John R. Sinek, the coin features a portrait of Roosevelt on the obverse, which is the front side, and a torch, olive branch, and oak branch on the reverse. These symbols represent liberty, peace, and strength, values that Roosevelt strongly upheld during his presidency. But let's get into the specifics of the 1978 Roosevelt silver dime. One of the key things that makes this coin stand out is its composition. The 1978 Roosevelt dime, like all dimes minted between 1965 and 1969 and then from 1970 onwards, is made of 90% silver and 10% copper. This composition is part of what gives these dimes their intrinsic value, as silver has always been a highly sought-after commodity. The value of the silver in these dimes alone can significantly increase their worth, especially as the price of silver continues to rise. Looking at the design of the 1978 Roosevelt dime, we can see the same classic and iconic features that have been present since the coin's inception. On the obverse side, Roosevelt's profile is prominently displayed, surrounded by the inscriptions, "Liberty, in God We Trust," and the year of minting, 1978. Depending on where it was minted, you'll also find a mint mark either D for Denver or S for San Francisco. The mint mark tells us where the coin was struck, and it can sometimes affect the value, as certain mints produce coins that are rarer or of higher quality. Now, let's talk about the reverse side of the 1978 Roosevelt dime. The design remains unchanged from the original 1946 coin and features a torch, an olive branch, and an oak branch. The torch symbolizes freedom, the olive branch stands for peace, and the oak branch represents strength and stability. These are timeless symbols that connect us to the values President Roosevelt upheld during his time in office. The simplicity of the design is one of the reasons why this coin is so enduring and beloved by collectors. So, why is the 1978 Roosevelt silver dime so valuable? Well, for one, its silver content makes it inherently valuable. However, the real worth comes from the coin's rarity and condition. Many of these dimes were minted in large quantities, but over the years, most have been circulated and are in less than ideal condition. Finding a 1978 Roosevelt dime that's in pristine, uncirculated condition is quite rare. These well-preserved coins are highly sought after by collectors, which drives up their value significantly. But there's more. Coins like these can also appreciate in value because of their historical significance and the growing interest in silver. Collectors are always looking for coins that have been preserved in excellent condition, and the 1978 Roosevelt dime is no exception. If you happen to have one of these coins in near-perfect or uncirculated condition, you could have a valuable treasure on your hands. In addition to the condition, some 1978 Roosevelt dimes have unique features that make them even more valuable. Minting errors can occur during the coining process, leading to coins with slight or significant imperfections. These errors, like misstrikes, double dies, or off-center strikes, can greatly increase a coin's value. If you have a 1978 Roosevelt dime with a minting error, it could be worth far more than a standard issue coin, depending on the rarity of the error. So, how much could your 1978 Roosevelt silver dime be worth today? Well, if you have an uncirculated 1978 Roosevelt dime or one with a rare minting error, you could be looking at a value of up to $130,000. That's right, $130,000 for a single dime. Of course, the value can fluctuate depending on market demand, silver prices, and the condition of the coin. But as the interest in rare coins continues to grow and the price of silver rises, it's safe to say that this little dime could fetch a very impressive sum. If you happen to have one of these dimes, it's worth taking a closer look to see if it's in mint condition or has any rare features. It could be your ticket to a life-changing find. Remember, the key to maximizing the value of your Roosevelt dime is to keep it in excellent condition. Store it in a protective case, keep it away from any moisture or dirt, and avoid handling it too much to preserve its quality. And if you think your 1978 Roosevelt dime could be worth something special, consider having it appraised by a professional coin expert to get an accurate value. Thank you for joining us today as we explored the fascinating world of the 1978 Roosevelt silver dime. Who knew that something as small as a dime could hold so much potential value? If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel, and hit the notification bell so you never miss out on the latest coin discoveries. Happy collecting, and who knows? Your next treasure might just be in your pocket change.